hood playing this one record, and I had no idea what it was. And I pulled out. I hopped out. It was on Gulfway right before you get to Lewis Manor Projects, and I was like, "What is this goddamn?" Because there used to be like a nightclub on one side and the fried chicken spot across the other side. I'm like, "What is this goddamn song everybody's playing?" And they're like, "Yo, that's Eazy-E New Crew, like Bone Thugs and Harmony, this thuggish ruggish bone." You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, but I know it's that feeling. Thuggish ruggish bone. There was nothing like that when that came out. Nothing. Wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. All right, people won't believe me, but I got the record done with Biggie and Bone Thugs. You can ask Steve Lobel. Bone Thugs didn't want to do the song because they was cool with Tupac, but Biggie was like, "Yo, my brother, I gotta do the song with them." And you know, me and Bone was on Relativity. We was family since day one. Right. So when they get that Bone and Biggie. Bone, that's Joe Crack put that together. Continue, my brother. Bun B. Joey Crack, the Forrest Gump of hip hop. He was everywhere. Forrest Gump of hip hop. No bullshit. Number two, and I don't hear a lot of people give this brother credit, but in the moment, like I wanted to be this dude, Chubb Rock. 1990, Chubb Rock jumps up on the scene. Everybody full of green. Remember Yusuf Hawkins when you walk in? He was dumb nice. DJ Innovator was the greatest song I'd ever heard in my life. Oh, my God. Changed my life. Let me tell you something. The beat, I was like, this is ridiculous. Number three, and this was because I always been like... Scarface, you got Bone Thugs. Number three, because I was always a big dude, and this dude was a big dude, but he was always clean. The ladies loved him. Heavy D, rest his soul. Now, Heavy D's one of my idols. I'm a mixture. Fat Joe's a mixture of Heavy D, LL, and KRS. You know what I'm saying? But Heavy D taught me how to be fly. He gave me empowerment as a big boy to dress, have fun, dance. Thank you. Yeah, he gave me the confidence. Right, so that's the thing. When I show my daughter pictures of Heavy D, my daughter tells me, "Yo, you jacked his style, Dad." Like, I swear to God, I'm not lying. Yo, Dad, you jacked his style. You like, damn, Dad, I didn't know you had to do Heavy D like that. Yo, my daughter tells me that shit, but you ain't have to do Heavy D like that. You jack Heavy D style as far as dressing and talking to the women, the overweight lover. You know what I'm saying? All right, so you got four. Who's the next one? No, that's three. That's Scarface, Chubb Rock, Heavy D. And then number you got four. Bone. Huh? No, I didn't say Bone. I was just talking about the moment. You just saying honorary mention. Yeah. I was just talking about how I remember a moment where somebody pulled up on the block playing music. Chubb Rock and Scarface. Number four, you're going to love this because I'm going to York. I'm going to Digging in the Crates. Lord Finesse. Hallelujah. There is a God. Nobody, when I was coming up, nobody gave a fourth bar as good as Lord Finesse. That's when people love hip-hop. That's when people would go just to hear the bars and the lines and Finesse. I mean, well, if it wasn't for Lord Finesse, it would be no Fat Joe. Like, he inspired me, literally inspired me. I was in the street. I never thought I could be a rapper or anything. So he grew up in my projects with me, and I would hang out with Finesse, and Finesse told me, "Yo, one day I'm going to be a rapper." And next thing I know, I'm listening to Red Alert, and they playing Lord Finesse shit on the radio, and that totally changed my mind and said to myself, "Yo, I can make it." Finesse did it. Rob did it. I could make it. And that's the only reason why you heard Fat Joe at all. You know what I mean? We all need to see that inspiration sometimes, like physically see it. I had Steve Stout up here. He was like, FloJo was his. Because he was like, if this fat Puerto Rican kid can make a hit record and be ice grilled out with FloJo, you gotta flow, Joe. You gotta flow, Joe. That was big. And number five, people might, obviously, it may seem like an obvious choice, but people have to realize this brother was a rapper before me in our little small town of 50,000 people. And it blew my mind that somebody that was literally walking the same streets I walked the same hallways in high school as I did, was in his bedroom making this music that sounded like it came from the biggest studios in the world. And that was Pimp. Like before Pimp was my partner, he was an inspiration because it blew my mind. I was like, yo, because up until that moment, I always felt like, you know, hip hop came from New York, and so it was something about the experience of being in New York and growing up in New York that made you good at rapping. And here it is, this same kid, he shop where I shop. He goes to school where I go to school. You know what I'm saying? We walk the same streets, the same hallways, but he sounds good like the dudes that are actually really doing it, that are signed to Code Chillin', right? That kind of thing, right? Because that was
Pimp C was just a superstar.
He was. He always was.
Just
and
superstar.
It's funny you say that because
he was like a super. You know,
that's the only way. And you can ask Hov when you see him. Hov is only ever, every time we interacted, right? He would be around Pimp, and Pimp's, you know, he had this, you know, huge personality and everything. On the set of Big Pimp, and he pulls up in the Benz with Gloria. They go change and they put on the mink coats. And he would look at me and be like, yo, your brother's a fucking star. Like every time.
I would see Pimp C wherever I seen him, he was like a fucking star. Like wherever I saw him, he was like dramatic, making a movie, this and that. I remember, you know, he's dead now, but I remember one time I was in Atlanta and he opened up the trunk. There was so many guns in that trunk. Pimp C couldn't have one gun. He had to have 30 in the back of that. I said, this motherfucker going to jail. Let me get the fuck out of here.
He never lived life casually. I will say that. And some of us could live 4 or 5 lives and we'll never have done all the things that he did. But out of all of that, like he was, you know, there was a dynamic that existed with us, right? Like I was always big on technical skills, right? Because I always looked at the technical MCs, the Lord Finesses, the Big Daddy Kanes, the Craig G's and Cool G Raps and guys like that. So I wanted to have that technical ability. His only concerns when he made music was that motherfucker, like, don't get me twisted. That was his whole thing. Like, don't get me twisted. This is who I am. This is what I represent. This is what I love. Don't get me fucked up out here.
He was ahead of his time.
Years ahead of his time. I still look at how dudes move now. And I'm like, close. You're close. I like the car. I like the jewelry. I like the attitude. I like the approach. But you on your best day in 2020 ain't even close to Pimp C in 95.
That's a Pimp C now.
Pimp C in 1999 might have been the greatest
Pimp C 2020 would be out of control.
Oh, it would. I don't know if the world could handle Pimp C in 2020. Like being able to tell you how he felt about you at any given time for the world to see.
Raw.
You know, you have no idea how many times dudes would call me be like, yo, I'm not finna have your brother playing with me. Like, yo, he tell your brother he can't keep playing with me like that. And they would always feel a certain way, but then they knew they couldn't move. They knew it wasn't going to work. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy. But nah, like you can listen to records with me and Pimp C and me solo, and you can see there's a big difference when I rapped with him.
Dynamic
to me rapping
man. It's like
solo.
You know, it's a dynamic. It just go into each other. Same thing with me and Pun. Like, you know, that to this day, that's when I was most happiest with being side by side with my brother. And shout out to Cali. He's on the check-in. Everybody's on the check-in, by the way. But Swiss on the check-in. My verse on the check-in. Ro Parrish. So, yeah, Khaled on here too. But Khaled was telling me the other day, he was like, yo, Fat Joe. Now, Fat Joe. He said, but when you used to walk in with Big Pun, he said that shit was different, bro. He said, yo, that shit different. Y'all was in the same thing. Bun B, Pimp C, no matter what you do.
We check all boxes.
Success you have.
When we walk with our brothers, as a collective, we check every box.
That's right.
We check every box.
Yo, Bun, I thank you for giving me your time, my brother. You know I love you, man. Stay up. Keep the fight up. I'm here. You already know what it is. This is about that Basquiat. You know what I'm saying? Danny Select on the check-in too. The mayor on the check-in. Yo, we gonna go see some sneakers with Mayor. I brought out the Kobe's because this is what started the whole 2020. And, you know, ever since Kobe passed, I feel like the world is shifting a whole nother way. You know what I'm saying?
That's fact. So you know what, Joe? That's facts. That's facts. Like, it's almost like Kobe died and we're seeing the decline of Western civilization.
All right, Bumby. I love you, man. Be safe, my brother.
I love you, Joe Crack. Thank you for having me, brother.
You heard it from the horse's mouth. Bun B legendary. Rest in peace, Pimp C. Houston and this motherfucker. Big George, rest in peace. They was out there today. Stevie Jackson was out there today. We gonna keep talking this real shit. It ain't for everybody. And if it ain't for you, best thing you could do is just sit back and enjoy that real talk so you can have some type of understanding or insight. Because when I come on here, I just speak the truth.